This is Amami Oshima, a subtropical jewel in southern Japan, where emerald forests climb over misty ridges and rivers curl down to turquoise shores. It looks like paradise. But beneath the canopy lurked a predator that terrorized villagers for generations: the habu snake. In 1979, Japan thought it had found the perfect solution: a quick fix. Release a natural snake killer, and the danger would vanish. Instead, that idea triggered one of the worst ecological disasters in the country's history, and a fight that lasted 40 years. For centuries, the habu snake ruled these forests. A pit viper, Protobothrops flavovidicae. It grows more than a meter long, moves with startling speed, and strikes without warning. Its venom doesn't just hurt. It shuts down nerves, muscles, and sometimes the heart itself. In Amami's villages, the habu wasn't just a snake, it was a constant threat. Farmers were bitten while harvesting. Children feared walking home at dusk. Rural clinics overflowed with victims, and anti-venom wasn't always there when it was needed. Cold storage and quick transport are vital for treatment. But Amami is remote, its population scattered. Many patients didn't make it in time. The fear was real, the bites were frequent, and the government needed a solution. And in 1979, they thought they had one. Instead of investing in hospitals or widespread anti-venom distribution, Japan reached for a biological shortcut. Find the snake's enemy, introduce it to the island. Problem solved. The chosen weapon, the small Indian mongoose, Herpestes auropunctatus. In legend and reality, the mongoose has a reputation. Agile, sharp-toothed, and lightning-fast, it's known to take on venomous snakes and win. To Amami's officials, it seemed perfect. That year, about 30 mongooses were released into the forests. Villagers cheered. The logic was simple: send in the snake hunters, watch the bites go down. But no one stopped to ask the obvious question: would the mongoose actually hunt habu snakes? The answer came quickly. It didn't. The habu snake prowls at night. The mongoose hunts by day. They almost never crossed paths. And when mongooses did go hunting, they didn't bother chasing dangerous pit vipers. They went for the easy prey: small mammals, frogs, insects, and especially birds' eggs. The habu snakes stayed. The mongooses spread. By the 1990s, those 30 animals had exploded into an estimated 10,000. Instead of solving Amami's snake problem, Japan had created an entirely new one: an invasive predator overrunning an island that had no defenses. To understand the disaster, you have to know Amami Oshima's secret. This island is an ark, home to species found nowhere else on Earth. They evolved in isolation with no mammal predators, and the mongoose hit them like a storm. The Amami rabbit, a so-called living fossil, one of the oldest rabbit species in the world, reproduces slowly, hiding its young in burrows. For the mongoose, they were an easy kill. Populations crashed. The Amami woodcock, a ground-nesting bird, had no chance. Eggs and chicks vanished. Frogs like Ishikawa's frog, rare reptiles, even insects, all became prey. The ecological balance snapped. With fewer rabbits grazing, plants grew unchecked. With birds and frogs gone, insects surged. Every link in the chain weakened. The island's silence deepened. By the late 1980s, biologists sounded the alarm. If nothing changed, Amami's unique wildlife would vanish forever. By the turn of the millennium, the mongoose wasn't a solution. It was the crisis. A predator moving unchecked through forests and villages, wiping out species at a terrifying rate. And the snakes? Still there. The original problem hadn't gone away. The cure had become worse than the disease. Amami Oshima faced a choice: tolerate the mongoose or fight back before the damage became irreversible. The first response came in the 1990s. Local offices set traps, declaring the mongoose harmful wildlife. But small-scale efforts barely scratched the surface. By 1996, Japan launched a national model project, mapping mongoose distribution and testing control methods. The results were grim. The animals were everywhere, spreading faster than traps could contain. Biologists realized they weren't just fighting a predator. They were fighting one of the most adaptable invasive species on Earth. Every season, trapping methods had to be refined. Every site required a new approach. It became clear, if Amami Oshima wanted to win, it would need something bigger. In 2005, everything changed. Japan passed the Invasive Alien Species Act, giving the Ministry of the Environment full authority and funding to eradicate mongooses once and for all. A new dedicated team was formed. Their name? The Amami Mongoose Busters. They were part scientists, part hunters, part conservationists. Day after day, they set thousands of traps across valleys and farmlands. Every capture was logged, tagged, and studied. But mongooses are clever. They learned to avoid traps, slipping through the forests undetected. So the busters got smarter. Motion-triggered cameras mapped their movements. Detection dogs sniffed out scent trails in places humans couldn't reach. Every season, the strategy shifted. Every year, the fight continued. It was exhausting, expensive, and slow, but it worked. Over time, numbers dropped. From hundreds of captures a year to dozens. From dozens to single digits. And then, something remarkable happened. The forest began to sing again. Farmers spotted Amami rabbits hopping at dusk. Birdsong grew louder in the canopy. Rare frogs reappeared in streams. After decades of silence, life was returning. But the busters didn't relax. They knew even one breeding pair could undo years of work. So the search continued. Every night, every season, until April 2018. That month, the last mongoose was captured. After that, nothing. No sightings, no tracks, no evidence, just silence. Still, officials waited. They monitored for 6 long years. Cameras rolled. Dogs searched. Soil and water were tested for stray DNA. And finally, in September 2024, the announcement came. Amami Oshima was officially mongoose-free. Think about that. An invasive predator introduced by humans had spread across an inhabited island and was completely eradicated. Globally, that almost never happens. Most successful eradications are on tiny, uninhabited islands. But Amami, with more than 60,000 people, proved it was possible. The timing made it even more symbolic. In 2021, UNESCO had declared Amami Oshima a World Natural Heritage Site, citing its irreplaceable forests and wildlife. By 2024, the island didn't just carry that title, it had earned it. The mongoose experiment left scars, but it also left lessons the world can't afford to ignore. First, ecosystems are webs, not machines. Introduce one predator, and you don't just shift a single piece, you unravel the entire fabric. Second, quick fixes are dangerous. Releasing mongooses was faster and cheaper than improving hospitals and distributing antivenom, but it created a crisis that lasted 40 years. Third, prevention is everything. Eradicating invasive species once they're established takes time, money, and relentless effort. Amami succeeded, but most places won't be so lucky. Today, invasive species are the second leading cause of biodiversity loss worldwide, right behind habitat destruction. They cost the global economy hundreds of billions of dollars every year. From rats on remote islands wiping out seabird colonies to Asian carp overrunning American rivers. The story repeats. But Amami Oshima is proof that with persistence, science, and community, recovery is possible. Today, Amami's forests are alive again. Rabbits dart through undergrowth. Woodcocks drum their wings over the valleys. The songs of frogs echo in the night. The mongoose is gone. But the lesson remains. What began as a bold idea to fight one predator became a decades-long war against another. A reminder that nature doesn't bend to shortcuts. Every ecosystem is fragile. Every decision carries weight. Amami Oshima's story is more than a Japanese tale. It's a warning and a hope. A warning against careless interference. A hope that with enough effort, even our biggest mistakes can be undone.